It's vino time. All right, let's see if we get some screen here and see if anybody beats Tim on this one. All right, I want to check that out. Hang on, guys. All right. All right, well, I was just taking a look at something here, guys. If everybody, we'll start here real quick. If everybody can do me a favor and leave out the Brandon comments tonight, that does not, YouTube doesn't particularly care for those, and I don't feel like spending 2 weeks in jail because of them. So please leave those out. No FJBs, no LGBs, nothing like that. Okay, so we all get it. Right there with you, but yeah, just trying to stay out of trouble. So, all right. Good evening, everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope y'all are staying warm, and hope y'all got a libation there to curl up with while we spend an hour and have a little bit of fun together. So, I did notice, and I was going to ask this. I noticed Rooster saying something. If everybody could say a prayer for his grandson Owen, that would be greatly appreciated. We all got to kind of hang together as a family, and when one hurts, we all come together, and there's a lot of power amongst all of us. So let's make sure the big man upstairs hears a lot of us tonight for Owen. So, all right. Montana Grizz fan, I hope you win the lottery. So there you go. I was reading comments as you guys were going and talking about deer hunting and all the fun stuff here. So enjoyable stuff. But glad y'all can make it. It was a cold day in Tennessee today, though I was actually out mowing the lawn slash leaves because it's crazy, trying to maneuver in between everything here. But man, I had leaves that were 4 inches high in the yard, but I guess that's what I get for living in the trees. So good deal. All right. Not a whole lot of interesting stuff that I haven't talked about here in the news. You guys saw the video this morning. Their big question that came up numerous times in the comments, if you all saw it, the stay that the Fifth Circuit has continued here is still only on private sector companies with 100 or more employees. It doesn't affect hospitals, doesn't affect federal contractors, anything like that. So maybe that one comes. I still say that's going to come eventually because somebody sent me an email today about a hospital in Tennessee that closed because literally the entire staff quit. So that just kind of the way it is, and eventually companies are going to see this going, we can't do this. And they're going to start putting pressure on the politicians. And it'll just be another in the long list of failures for the 46 administration. But, like I said, my guess is he's got a little more than a year left before he's thrown out on his keister. Christ, he's only violated the Constitution twice so far, and he's still got another year and a half before the next Congress comes in. So we'll see what happens there. But if I'm not going to run my mouth, that means more time for you guys to run yours. So we'll kind of get into the rules of the game. Guys, keep it clean, PG-13. My moderators, North Shore, Jacob, Robert, Lucky Dame, and Indiana Prepper 2 is in here too. So we got 5 mods tonight. Okay, good deal. But yes, they will delete your comments quickly, and if you're going to be a POS, they will delete you quickly. So disagreement is always encouraged. I don't expect anybody to agree with everything I say. Not a single one of you. Okay, but keep it polite. Disagreement's cool. Keep it polite. Any badgering of anybody else in the chat, that is a complete not accepted. Okay. That gets you gone real quick. So I can take a little bit of heat, but I'll be damned if you're going to give anybody in here any. So the mods know that too, that you're just gone. There is no 300-second timeout. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You're just gone. We keep this as a family, PG-13. You know, like I say all the time, your teenagers can probably hear my language, but your 6-year-old doesn't need to be sitting around and watching me, because every once in a while I do get a little salty. But you know, that's the military in me. So Gen X in me, I don't know, pick one. Growing up in the 80s in me, something like that. But okay. Questions for me, guys, please put them all in all caps. That way I know they're directed at me. Feel free to have conversations amongst yourselves. God knows there's enough people in here who have more answers than I do on a lot of topics. You know, keep those in lowercase. That way I know. Miriam, thank you for the super chat. That is greatly appreciated. You'd love to meet Mrs. P. Maybe she'll come sneak by. I don't know. That's always up to her. Every once in a while she comes and pops a face in. Occasionally she brings some puppies too. But we'll see what happens. So only other thing, guys, I am going to say, if y'all were here last year, it's around this time that we do the food bank and the Toys for Tots deal. So I'm thinking next Saturday and Tuesday of Thanksgiving weekend, we will do those, or Thanksgiving week, we will do those two fundraisers if y'all care to donate. There's a big story in the news today that the food banks are really struggling to feed people with the cost of food and everything like that. And, you know, coming into holiday season, I mean, if you can, great. If you can't, no problem. I mean, I assume there's probably people on here who are recipients as well. Okay, so don't anybody feel pressured. But if you have the ability to donate a little bit, if you remember the video I did last year, Mrs. P and I went to the store, filmed all that, took it over to the food bank. The food bank was beside themselves, and then we did the same thing with the Toys for Tots and took all that in and everything like that. So we'll do the same thing again this year. But I figure we'll do that with next Saturday and a week from Tuesday's videos and kind of go from there. So, all right. Okay. So somebody just said, how do you donate? I'll explain that when we get in. I was just kind of giving everybody a heads up that yes, we will do that again, because that's something that's very dear to my heart. And, you know, we try to do it on our own as best we can. And holidays time, I try to bring it into the channel too, as best we can. So, okay, so let's get into Q&A. Just so y'all know, I start at the top. I work my way down to the bottom. There's 1,100 of you guys in here and one of me. So I will go as quickly as I can, but obviously I want to give you good answers, not just crackpot crap. So some answers are quick, some answers are a little bit longer, some get me off on a tangent, but that's me. I can talk. If I don't answer your question relatively quickly after you post it, feel free to post it again. I probably just haven't got that far. I usually wind up about 15, 20 minutes behind the chat. If I see it a second time, I'll just skip over it. Not a big deal. I'm not trying to skip any questions. However, don't ask anything about the arm candy, and stay away from anything. We'll just leave it as NASCAR related and we'll be okay. So, oh yes, and of course we can't talk anything about COP26, because that's another no-no on YouTube right now. If you don't know what that is, that was the meeting they had, the topic of the meeting they had in Glasgow. So I will skip those questions. So, all right, so let's go up to the top and we will see what we got and go from there. Big Bear Prepper says, Prepper Nurse 1 must be in jail again. Haven't been on since Thursday. I don't know. I haven't heard from Ed if he was or not. I mean, if he was, I'd assume he would have told me and said, hey, let everybody know. But I haven't heard from him. For all you know, he's traveling down to West Virginia for the weekend or something like that and doesn't have internet or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. Da, 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 da. South Colorado Stetter, FEMA is here in my city to fill in for hospital staff, which, of course, the question there is what hospital did they take them out of? That's always the problem. It's not like, FEMA's just a bunch of people sitting at home going, gee, you know what? I'm a cardiovascular surgeon, and I'll just wait till they call me up to go to a hospital. They're working somewhere. Autumn West, do snow flurries tomorrow here in Kentucky. Okay, where in Kentucky? Because unless Mrs. P chimes in and says we got snow coming tomorrow there, because I'm not that far south of the Kentucky-Tennessee border. So, let's see. Ace Maduro, your hat looks a little lower on your head. Must be the spiffy haircut. Yeah, there you go. They cut my beard too short. That's the only thing I don't like. I almost look Amish, but I'll let it grow. Anna B, did I hear about the CMS mandate for all healthcare that deal with Medicare and Medicaid? Yep, that's still going on. That's why I said the stay by the Fifth Circuit does not affect anybody in the hospital system because, of course, either the hospital turns down their Medicare or Medicaid money, which they're not going to do, or they mandate it. So we'll see what happens. But, what pisses me off more than anything else is for a year, the first responders, cops, fire department, EMS, hospital workers, whatever would be doctors, nurses, you name it, were heroes. And then all of a sudden, at the blink of an eye, Biden's like, nope, now they're bums. Like, no, sorry, it doesn't work that way. They were perfectly fine doing everything, putting their life at risk for a year. And now all of a sudden, because you got some wild hair up your ass, now you're going to kill somebody's career that, they've been doing for 20, 25, 30 years. Well, there are still people that need hospitals. Y'all know my daughter is, wanting to go to PA school, be a physician's assistant. And I told her, I said, hey, I said, that's one industry you should be fine with. I said, layoffs don't happen in the medical industry. People get sick no matter if the economy's good or not. Needless to say, I didn't figure out we'd have an idiot like this in a White House, but it is what it is. But my bet is still that enough pressure is eventually put on that this all turns around, goes the other way. But who knows? I see the mods are active. Let's see. Soul Reaper, how do we know that the next Congress will be any better? What if there are a bunch of rhinos? Well, that's definitely a possibility. But I get the feeling, and this again is my gut, is that the conservative base is going to be a lot more picky about who they give nominations to. Look at Alaska. Murkowski's running again. Murkowski's a great rhino, but the conservative base is rallying behind her challenger because she is a conservative. So we'll see how it runs, but I think the Republicans or the conservatives or the libertarians or anybody that's right-leaning, let's put it that way, is going to start asking a lot more questions about what these people believe in, because I think the right-leaning population is getting sick of these, I'm going to promise you everything that you want to hear, and then I'm going to go vote for everything that Bernie Sanders wants. Okay. Patty Bob made it. Good evening from Germany. There you go. And I know we have other people from Europe in here. If you guys are from Europe, please chime in and let us know. Somebody was, I know we've got people from Slovakia, from the Czech Republic, from Romania, Great Britain, of course, France, Spain, Italy, Russia. If I missed any of them, please let me know. Rewind, thoughts on the FBI emails. I saw that today. Guys, if you get any goofy email that's supposedly from the FBI, just delete it. The FBI got hacked, and I guess what they send out 10,000 or 100,000 emails or something like that through the FBI system to individuals saying that they were in trouble or something like that. So if you see something from the FBI, just delete it. It's the FBI got hacked today, but that we're supposed to trust the FBI with all the investigations they did for 4 years on 45, right? And they can't even figure out how to keep their own email system secure. You're the freaking FBI. God. Fat Man Prepper, do as I say, not as I do kind of guy, huh? Don't understand what you're saying. David Williams, pinball, this is down in Mexico, obviously. 2 weeks ago, some stores are requiring proof of the jab. Well, that's Mexico. Let's hope it doesn't happen here. Healthy disrespect for authority. Have you seen the latest video from JP Sears? No, I have not. I don't even know who JP Sears is. So, Lorna says, did Mrs. P get to look at the sites Constantine asked her to see today in the Moscow tour? I was only in his live stream for about 10 minutes, and she was upstairs taking a nap, so no, we didn't. And then I had to go out and mow the lawn. So, but I wanted to pop in and just say hi to everybody. Wow, we got trolls like crazy apparently. Carrot Top. Hey, Pinball, is a prepaid burner cell phone good to put in a Faraday container? Not sure how quick the cell companies would get the service back up. It's not going to matter because once the towers are down, that's it. So, the prepaid phone is going to do you no better than your regular cell phone. No need to spend the extra money. In search of earlier, how do you donate? I'll discuss that next week. Texas Redleg. I wonder if we will get tested in our ability to fighting 2 wars simultaneously at 2 fronts. Or 3. China, Taiwan, Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, Poland. Okay. What's going on there? If you saw a story today that Belarus is supposedly arming the Afghanis so they can get into Poland. Okay, that's a huge problem. And then you've got Iran and Israel running their mouths again. So, Indiana Prepper, yep, okay, yes, you are right. And actually, YouTube takes 40%, not 30. So yes. J.I. Gobbling Oaks. I heard Kraft Heinz announced a 20% hike in their product. This affects a huge amount of product. Actually, that's the second one that they've announced. They announced one about 6 months ago, too. Elizabeth Nelson, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, so you're going to see a whole lot of price hikes. Did anybody catch the great one today out of Disney? With Disney World, Disneyland? They are reducing the size of the portions. Not unless you get 10 grand to go on vacation. They're reducing the size of their hamburgers, their fries, whatever. They're not reducing the prices, but of course they're saying, well, it's supply chain. And then the guy had the audacity to go, well, Americans can probably stand to lose a few pounds too anyway. Like, yeah, well, where I'm not going to lose a few pounds? My wallet, because you couldn't drag me into spending what you want to go to Disney World. Brandy, thank you for the super chat. What do I think about California, New Mexico, and Colorado pushing 18 up on extra sauce? I don't, unless you're talking about boosters, I'm not sure. So yeah, throw something else in there. Let me know. Put it in caps so I know. Elaborate a little on the question so I understand. ND Prepper, do I listen to Dan Bongino? Occasionally. Obviously he's over on Rumble and stuff like that. I mean, don't have TV anymore, so I can't catch them on Fox. But Carolyn L. Nabisco was reporting halting production into the end of the year, cites transportation problems. Buy it now if you like that stuff. Yeah, transportation issues. If you saw the same thing on the pipeline up in Michigan that they're talking about, Biden wants to shut down, that's going to get natural gas from, I think it's Wisconsin to southern Canada there, southern Ontario, around Detroit. Yeah, then it's going to have to be carried by trucks that, we don't have enough of. So, yeah, transportation is going to be a big issue in the wintertime. Because remember, guys, transportation doesn't move as quick in the winter either, all right? If you ever driven I-80, especially through New Mexico, Wyoming and New Mexico, forget it. You can be stuck for days. Or Wyoming, New Mexico, Wyoming, Utah. My freaking geography. Romy Davis, y'all been jarring lately. Nothing much, because harvest is all done. So pretty much it's been emptying jars, eating some of the stuff. Rewind, thoughts on the FBI email, since I've already touched on that. That's 3 times already, so I already answered the question. And there we go, shut to the bottom. Lady Snickerdo, the school district I work for is limiting copies due to a toner shortage. Okay. Hadn't heard anything about a toner shortage. Not that that's crucial, but in a school, hey, kids need homework. You got to print out a test. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. We don't grade kids on tests anymore. We grade on the effort they put into it. I saw that yesterday. I don't know if you guys caught this one. There's some college professor or whatever somewhere, I think Dartmouth or something like that, says that we shouldn't grade students at any level based on whether they get the answers right or wrong, whether they should be graded on whether or not how much work they put into it. And my answer was, well, math comes pretty easy to me. So let's say somebody that math doesn't come easy to. Let's say I get my homework done in a half an hour and they take 2 hours to do it. I get all the answers right and they get all the answers wrong. By his logic, they should get a better grade than me. Even though everything's wrong, they spent longer on it. There was another professor today who there was a story out on who wants to, he is against calling pedophiles. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Calling them pedophiles because it's offensive. We should be called them minor attracted people. And he thinks it should be, or she thinks it should be legal. Rubber room people, guys. And these are the ones running our educational institutions. Daryl Richter, yes, very good point. A really great place to purchase canned goods is the LDS storage facility. I know there's one in Knoxville. I've never been there, but I remember the one in Salt Lake. And yeah, I mean, it was really good. Excuse me. Vintage September. Morning Light. I like the trimmed up beard, but all that matters if Mrs. P likes it. I guess she does. Chaz Z says, check out this video when you have time. Obviously, you guys can't put a link in there, so I don't know what you're talking about. Rooster. My wife was a nurse and was considered a hero right on the front line. Now they consider her a dirtbag. Walked off the job, 33 years in nursing. How much more can we take? Rooster's wore out. Yeah. And I touched on that at the top. That just pisses me off that, getting rid of them. I mean, of all people in a pandemic to lose is medical personnel. I mean, Joe or whoever's playing with the marionette strings has got to be a world class idiot. Then again, we all know it's Obama, so we all know he's a world class idiot. Ugh. Atrocious. Do the Republicans, conservatives conserve anything besides the status quo? Never mind, I know the answer. No, I'm not going to disagree with you. Okay. Both sides stink. Don't get me wrong. The only reason that I'm harder on the Democrats is because the Democrats want socialism slash communism. At least the GOP doesn't want that. Okay. You know, that's basically my difference. Uh, Kelly, you say to I think so. Kelly, you say today, do I keep livestock or small animals as food prep? No, I can't here because of the water tables and being on the lake and everything like that. I'm not allowed to because they would run off into the lake, and the lake here is used for drinking water for God, what, like 4 states. So, uh, okay. So you can tell I'm behind because there's a whole bunch of comments on the FBI. Misty Woods, if I could change anything since I moved there, what would it be? That's an easy one, believe it or not. The other people that have moved here. Not that the people are bad, just that there's other people here. Okay. I've got a house on the property next door to me. I've now got a guy building 400 yards away from me that bought the lot over there. We got here, it was nice, it was quiet, there was nobody around, I was surrounded by trees, and all of a sudden there's other people buying property. Not that I'm finding other people buying property, I get it. And, it's the comment been made, I could have bought the property, not financially, but I had the opportunity if I would have. But, yeah, so other people bought it. So I kind of got out here to get away from having neighbors, and all of a sudden I'm getting neighbors again. Annabelle, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. Jamie Pruitt, what do I think of WDAC? I'm not sure what WDAC is, so if you can write out what that is, maybe I'll have an answer. Cindy says I have to watch JP Sears. Like I said, I've never heard of him, so somebody else says he's a subtle comedian. Okay. Okay. Sunset, have I ever used Mickwick Fire Starter? I've used a ton of them. I've never heard of Mickwick. Okay. If I have, then I don't know it by name. Okay, you guys are all talking about JP. Carla Palmer, Mr. P, how much silver is a good amount to have? Well, there isn't a flat number. What I would suggest, okay, is, and this goes back to my days as a broker, and I'll give you the story I've told everybody before. 10% has always been the rule of thumb for what to keep in precious metals of your savings, if you will. In this type of world right now, I'd say 20%, unless more, okay? Because I am very bearish. I'm a historical bull. I've been bullish for 30 years on the market. I'm now bearish on the market. I'd rather have my money, and I do, in precious metals than I would in stocks. I own nothing in the way of mutual funds, stocks, anything like that of the sort. Everything I have investable assets is in precious metals at this point. Okay. Not that it's a ton, but it's physical precious metals, because I still say the market is going to tank. And I know everybody said, well, people say that, and broken clocks right twice a day. Yeah, all right, but we also don't trade at, what are we at, 42 times PE or something like that right now on the market, and historical average is 17. So yeah, there's a huge bubble kind of like we saw the internet bubble, we saw the housing bubble. There's a stock market bubble again. But, for a round figure, whatever you got in your savings account, 20% of that amount of money should be in silver. And then what I use, this is again personal, gold to silver ratio. For every 100 ounces of silver you own, buy an ounce of gold. Okay. But again, those are my rules. My rules for my household. Okay. You can change for whatever you want. Like I said, talk to a financial advisor, they're going to tell you 10% precious metals. I don't trust the economy as much. I want more. And then the ratio of gold to silver, I've heard anywhere from 50 on up. I just look at the expense of it and go, okay, once I own 100 ounces of silver, then an ounce of gold makes sense. Kathy Boy, first timer Save-A-Lot has put limits on anything, but they've put limits on buying turkeys. Yeah, I saw Alaska Prepper's video the other day, if you guys caught that. He actually went, there was a Costco, I think he got him, or Sam's Club, one of the two. I think it was Costco. And he actually got 50 turkeys to go take over to the food bank, which was really cool that he got it. And, he asked one guy and said, no, there's no problem. Then the store manager gave him a little bit of issue, but, it was still really cool that Rudy was able to get 50 turkeys and a bunch of mashed potatoes and stuff like that, to help out some people have a Thanksgiving meal. So that was really cool. But yeah, I haven't seen limits on turkeys, but around here, I saw up in Middlesboro, last weekend when we were up at Walmart, I think it was 98 cents a pound for turkeys up there for, I want to say it was either Jenny O or Butterball, one of the two. But then there were the other ones that were $1.98, and the organic ones were $3 a pound. Monashi prepping, pinball, what are your thoughts? Okay, I'm not going to answer that one. BMH, how close are y'all to Burkesville, Kentucky? Obviously not too close because I've never heard of it. So, don't know. Soul Reaper, 3 fronts. Last time we fought just 2, it was World War II. Yeah, exactly. And notice what 2 fronts were then, what the 2 fronts are, Pacific Theater and European Theater. Yeah. Raw Food Writer, Pinball, do you think West Virginia is a safe place to move and start a homestead? Absolutely. I think it's probably one of the best places to do it, provided a couple of things. A, if you don't need to find employment, okay, because West Virginia is notoriously poor, but if you got a job that you can work at home, okay, there. And if you can handle the winters, because again, West Virginia does have some pretty rough winters up there. But beautiful country, sparsely populated, if you will. But if you're looking for homesteading where you are going to be a true homesteader, yeah, I think West Virginia would be a great place to be. Misty Woods, have I heard that China's threatening Australia? Yeah, that I still think that's a little bit of bluster. Australia's got more issues internally right now than worrying about China. How do I want to put this? Australia right now is kind of like the U.S. light, right? With all the craziness that's going on in Australia. I mean, obviously we don't have the lockdowns, okay? But that little 2A gets in the way a little bit. But watch Australia, because watch how China operates with Australia, because that's kind of like the test subject for how China's going to try to operate with the United States. In search of, maybe use Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal if YouTube takes so much for donations. For 40% is ludicrous. Yeah, and that's exactly what I'll do next week, is because I've got my Cash App and my PayPal under every video. So that's the best way to do it. And that's what we did last year too, because when we did the donations last year. I think the first one everybody was going through YouTube, and YouTube took 40%. We had roughly the same amount of donations between the 2 days, but by the time all was said and done, we had about $200 more for toys because PayPal, takes like 1.5–2% or something like that. I mean, I understand they got to make money, but really, YouTube needs to take 40%. I mean, come on, Google doesn't have enough money. Yui, we hoot. Okay, I'll go. When do I think all the mandates end? When the businesses finally start going like this, when they start struggling, when the businesses start closing, because again, it's all political, and the most important thing to a politician is tax money. And when businesses start closing, that means they start getting less tax money. And when they start going, where's all the tax money? Well, the business is closed. That's when they'll get back down. Scarlet Brimstone, there's a good one. Apparently the news is blaming cannabis for all the heart attacks broke teens are having. Anything but, okay? Remember, a year ago, if you had a motorcycle accident, your death certificate said one thing. Now, if you die, your death certificate can say anything but that one thing. Right? Jordan Paul, what pot do I use for canning? We've just got a cheap one. I mean, I forget whatever. It was like $80 or something like that. I forget what the brand is. I mean, I don't have an all-American canner or anything like that. Presto or something like that. I think it was about $80, and it gets 7 quarts in it. Works fine, no problem. Lori Riki, any gold good, or should jewelry be sold for gold coins? No, I would not sell jewelry for gold coins. Okay, you're going to lose money on both ends of that. Trade cash for gold coins, but if you've got gold jewelry, hang on to the gold jewelry. It's still gold. Ray Sprague, how about the U.S. Embassy in Yemen? That Houthi rebels going in there? Yeah. There's another issue. I mean, not that Yemen has been any sort of paradise for the last decade, but the fact that we got the Houthi rebels going in there holding hostages now, yeah, there's another catastrophe. Let's see how Biden handles this one, if he even knows where Yemen is. It's not a Jell-O flavor. He probably doesn't know. Rooster, darn mouse has gone evil on us. Yep. Yeah, Mickey Rat. Kitty, how long do eggs put in ice trays and then frozen last in the freezer? No idea. Never tried it. I'm guessing probably like anything. Well, okay, no, I'm going to say different, because if you put them in ice trays, then there's oxygen getting to them. The way I know to freeze eggs is to put them in Ziploc bags and freeze them flat, so they're like this, because then you don't have any air in there. But if you're putting them in ice trays and making ice cubes out of them, then they're getting air in there and they'll get freezer burn a lot faster. Raw Food Writer, Pinball, my thoughts on West Virginia. I just gave you that. Lance Spencer, the gun registry. Yeah, there was an article that came out yesterday about that one, which kind of starts putting puzzle pieces together. What about businesses that go out of business? Gun store goes out of business. Where do all its, the forms that you fill out when you buy any sort of weaponry? Oh, now those go to the ATF. So instead of the store keeping them, now there's a pseudo gun registry. So hope your gun store doesn't go out of business. I mean, not that they don't know anyway. I mean, that's the thing. I could buy a weapon today and I have to fill out that form and they're going to run a background check. I can go back tomorrow and I've still got to fill it out and they've got to run another background check on me, make sure I didn't do anything overnight or whatever. But, those are all done by, in my case, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. There's a registry. They know how many weapons you've gone. So, you know, maybe they don't have the serial numbers, even though that's on the TBI forms. Uh, you know, I believe me, I'm not for a registry, but if anybody thinks that they don't know what you have already, you're sadly mistaken. Okay. Uh, YouTubing with Marcia. New code words for news headline. Sudden or unexpected. Yeah, there you go. Linda Osborne. Do I think that pipeline will be shut down? I don't know. You got differing thoughts. One of the Republican representatives out of Michigan, was saying that that's going to be a complete train wreck. Then you had Debbie Dingle, Debbie Dingbat, coming and saying, "Oh, it's complicated." No, it's not complicated. It's just that it's not that complicated. We know exactly what you're trying to do. The Democrat Party is trying to make fuel prohibitively expensive to the public so that we all decide to convert to green energy. Okay, it's the same reason that the Democrats won't intervene to bring gas prices down. They know they can't bring the price of an electric vehicle down, so the only way they can make them on par is if they bring the cost of operating a combustion engine up. That's what it is. Okay, unfortunately, the majority of the public isn't smart enough to figure that out where y'all and I are. So, Ann Palmer, what type of radio or other communication will work 210 miles? Want to be able to get in touch with my elderly mom if cell phones don't work. Your only option is ham radio at that point. I would not count on CB and getting a hold of her on a skip. But at that point, both of you are going to have to get trained on how to use a ham radio and get a ham radio license. That's literally your only option. Here we go to the bottom again. So scroll on back up. Okay. Okay. Angry Homesteader says AP got the turkeys from Walmart. Dollar Tree says they're raising prices over $1. Yeah, it's been out for a couple of weeks now. It'll be the $1.50 store. Shelly Bean, do I think property values are going to crash? Depends on where. Okay. It's not going to be sudden. Okay. I'm still thinking it's going to be a little bit, but where I think property values are going to crash is in the blue states because people are leaving them in droves. And like I said, just around me, I'm watching people buying land, building houses and stuff like that. They're coming from other places. They're leaving California, they're leaving New York, they're leaving Chicago, and they're coming to the red states. The red states are going to see them go up. The blue states are going to see them go down. Birchfield Farming. How long can they keep interest rates so low with inflation so high? They can't. And if you saw the Fed started tapering off $10 billion worth of bonds less purchased, I think it was. So tapering is in. So we're going to start seeing interest rates going up here quickly. And that's when, like I said, now you got to start watching that 10-year. And when that 10-year hits 175, then you start watching the dollar drop. Then you start watching the stock market. I mean, it's a whole house of cards, guys. It's nothing works independently. Money's always moving, and investors, Wall Street, the traders, whatever it is, if they're not making money here, they're moving money over here. And if they're not making it here, they're moving it back over here. And so countries are like this and companies are like this too. They're going to move the money around as well. But yeah, interest rates are going to go up. That is going to cause the market to go down. Amy Arsenal, Russia celebrates Thanksgiving. No. Yeah, Hector Prepper says, then he went back with 50 pies, right? I didn't see I don't think he made a video on the 50 pies, but yeah, I saw that he was talking about it. And then what was it? He was asking the lady if she went, oh, Ziploc bags too. Yeah. No. Rudy's a class act. I will give him that. I mean, Rudy's ex-Army. What do you want? No, but I mean, he does great for the community. Proud to call him a friend. Liberty Tree, is there any current coin that is worth holding? Nickels, maybe. No, because they're all clad. If you found one that is misprinted, yes, okay. But anything, unless you're finding silver in your spare change, no, there's nothing. They're all clad coins. There's nothing worth anything. Chicken Prepper, what are your thoughts about Russia and this preset World War III? Do you think we're really going into World War III? Okay. Somebody, I saw this yesterday. I don't remember where it was. Maybe somebody sent me an email. I think somebody sent me an email about the U.S. media talking about Russia's going to invade Ukraine. Russia's going to invade Ukraine, everything like that. Yesterday, Russia came out and said, we have no intention of invading Ukraine. Today, there was conversations with the EU where there was, and with NATO, where Russia's saying, we have no intentions of invading Ukraine. The U.S. media, guys, is stuck in 1972, okay? Russia, 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 Russia. This is it. Russia's not our biggest threat. CNN, MSNBC, PBS, The Atlantic, Huffington Post, whatever it is, they're stuck back in the Cold War. That's where they want to be. They did the whole 4 years against Trump, Russia, 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 okay, which all turned out to be bullshit, okay? When they start talking about China, 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 the real threat we have, then maybe somebody take them seriously. But right now, there's no truth to this whatsoever. And just like I said in the video the other day, we could go park a bunch of ICBMs down in Miami. It would freak the Cubans out, but we're allowed to park them wherever the hell we want. It's our country. Russia's allowed to do whatever the hell they want within their borders. Until they cross that border, there's no harm, no foul. Do you watch it? Sure. Do you overreact to it? No. But that's what CNN and MSNBC and the rest of these losers who have no job skills whatsoever do. Halftime. That's where I am in the comments, guys. When North Shore and Lucky Name are saying it's halftime, it's 10 till. PS 1990. I'm a Chrysler mechanic, and diesel oil filters have been on back order. I talked about that 6 months ago with, what was it, oil plugs, I think it was, for Jeeps and Chrysler products or stuff like that. The minivans and one of the Jeeps. That they can't get, they're on back order. I mean, thousands and tens of thousands of them. So yeah. Atrocious. Anyone looking for relocation advice, check out the book Strategic Relocation. There's a good thing too. I didn't even know a book like that existed. Michelle Sowers, what is you and Mrs. P's favorite meal and or desserts?
Turnovers and cheesecake and hamburgers and pelmeni.
Okay, so Mrs. P said her favorite meal is either hamburgers or pelmeni, and her favorite dessert is either turnovers or cheesecake. So how's that for an answer? Mine would be a good steak, and for dessert, Yeah, probably good bowl of ice cream. I'm simple. Kara Irway, if you could only choose one due to financial reasons, which would you choose? Solar generator, rain catchment system, or 3,000-gallon water tank? Uh, yeah, I choose the solar generator. For a simple reason is the hardest thing to come by is going to be power. Rather than a 3,000-gallon water tank, I can find water somewhere. I can't find electricity somewhere, you know. So, yeah, I'd go with the solar generator. Let's see, where are we? Lori Seltzer, do you or anyone you know make turkey jerky in their dehydrator? I've had it before. I've never made it. Uh, Mary Jane Green, what if we set up deliveries directly through the store? I'm not sure if you're talking about doing something for the food banks. I wouldn't even know where to begin with that one. Uh, Soul Reaper, this winter's gonna hurt. Yeah, it is. Uh, Daryl Richter, we canned apple slices, applesauce, apple syrup, and pomegranate jelly. My guess is you live in apple country. Sounds good. Uh, yeah, Lance Spencer, excellent point. Wait till the utility companies start being short of staff. Long waits. Because remember, utility companies are government contractors, guys. Okay. So when that lineman or whatever can't come out and fix your, because instead of having 60 linemen, they've only got 30 and they can't fix your power outage, or there's, I don't know, a power outage for me. A power outage in Kentucky where they send a bunch of linemen up there, and then we have one down here. Now there's nobody here. Think of a hurricane, you know. Misty Woods, I recently found out that Walmart is going to use a driverless truck. Your thoughts? I've never heard that. That would scare the crap out of me if I saw that on the road. Because they can't figure out these autonomous cars with a driver in there. They're still having accidents with those things. Now you're gonna put a driverless semi out there. Yeah, okay, fine. Unless you're driving a small tank. Yes, you ever seen a car accident between a car and a semi? The car driver is killed. The semi driver, is like, oh, okay, I'll just go get a hotel. Victoria Taylor, should I take my money out of the bank? Some. You definitely should have some cash at home. I don't know how much money you have. I don't want to know how much money you have. But you should have about 10% of your savings at home in cash. But that number obviously is fluid as well. If things change, it could be more. Let's see. Monashi prepping pinball. Any idea what rabbits make good meat rabbits? That's a question for somebody else in here. Like I said, I don't raise livestock. Okay, a couple of people talking on the eggs said the same thing I did. CD Davis, I inherited a coin collection. Should I hold on to it or cash it out? Depends on what the coins are in it. I mean, I have no idea what the coins are in it. I mean, there's the thing. So, yeah, that's definitely going to be a personal issue there. If I had it that way, I certainly wouldn't cash it for greenbacks. Uh, but if it's silver coins, gold coins, those sorts of things, I'd keep it as for the metals. Voodoo Queen, mineral oil your eggs last 9 to 12 months, no refrigeration needed. Thought that was just for fresh eggs, not for store bought though. But I'm gonna defer to you because I'm betting you know better than me. Let's see. Kathy Boy, West Virginia's okay, but don't bring your liberal BS here because we will not tolerate it. That's why I said it's a good place to go. It's pretty much the same around here. You know, liberals aren't very welcome around this place. Uh, Jay Stratton, question: what are the desert Southwest states that are best for bug out and safety? Yeesh. Northern Arizona. That would be about it. Nowhere in New Mexico. I wouldn't say Nevada. Obviously not California. So the only place that I can think of would be the northern half of Arizona. Uh, yeah, I mean West Texas. I mean you're gonna have to get out of El Paso. Yeah, northern Arizona would be my only suggestion at that point. Let's see what's next. And we're gonna shoot to the bottom. Go back to the top. Let's see. Hang on. Gracie Quinn, what happens to consumer debt in an economic downturn or depression? Sorry, but you still owe it. That's why I've said over and over and over again, guys, do whatever you can to pay off your secured debt, your house, your car, whatever. You know, it's different than, pay out, Dave Ramsey's snowball plan. It's different than paying off the one with the highest interest first. In this type of scenario, the most important things to do is pay off your secured debt, pay off your house, then pay off your car. I understand your car has a higher interest rate than your house. It doesn't make sense, right? But yes, pay off what they can take away from you. You put that cheeseburger on your credit card, they're not going to repossess that cheeseburger, but they will foreclose on your house or repossess your car. They can't come after your car because of your, because you didn't pay off your credit card. So, but yeah, you're still going to owe that. Guys talking about ham radios. Sunset, where's the best place to buy a hand sewing kit for darning? Oh, yeah, I mean, go to Walmart, go to, any sort of, there's sewing machine store here. I don't know where the best place to be, but you can find a sewing kit all over the place. Amy, I don't know why, but I got AP confused with Constantine. Sorry, my mistake. Okay, now I get what you were saying there. Brandy, thank you again for the super chat. Yeah, okay, then now I get why you're saying that. Do they celebrate Thanksgiving in Russia? Okay, gotcha. Liberty Tree satellite phone might be a solution for long distance communication. Yeah, it is a good point. Okay, there is another idea besides ham. Okay, satellite phones are expensive though. Tommy M, if Belarus cuts off the natural gas, then something might happen. Yeah, but that's going to be between Europe and Russia, not Belarus. That has nothing to do with Ukraine. So that's a different animal there. Holy crap, it's 1 minute till. Let's see. Looking. Derek Gardner, was a grand solar minimum ever brought up in the mainstream media? I don't watch that much of the mainstream media. I certainly don't read their website, so I don't know. I'm doubting it. Maybe as them talking about, oh, gee, this isn't serious. You got to listen to, the green energy people. That's, where I'm going with that. Cushnet Prepper, why can't the car companies make cars like they did back in the 50s or 60s? Yeah, because we have too much EPA regulations and not enough palms being greased and everything like that, and too many people get spoiled. Okay, you look at your car now. Go back to cars in the 50s or 60s. Heat was an option. Okay, crank windows, stick shift, You did, standard steering. I mean, find a car now. You're lucky if you can find a car now that's a stick. You can't find a car that doesn't have power windows, power steering, power brakes, AM, FM, CD, Bluetooth, TV, whatever the hell it would be. I mean, and you wonder why a new car cost you 50 grand. Take out all the crap, give me a car, and we'd be fine. So, no, I agree with you. And the car's back. I'd go back to the 30s and 40s. Why can't we make them back like that when they actually had some style and some class to them, But beside the point. All right, guys, it is 10 o'clock. Thank you, everybody, again. North, I will zoom down to the bottom. North, are you going on after here? See if we get there. Is the party continuing at the North Shore Preparedness? Yep. Oh, he says great stream. I don't know if let's see if he's North going live in about 10 minutes. All right, North Shore Preparedness. That's where everybody goes next. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you in the morning. Pinball out.